Welcome back to Melisia Talks, where we talk all things uniquely you. We are now starting our summertime sizzling ideas for the month of June. If you did not tune in last week, I have an amazing episode with my youngest son, Donovan, and we are discussing for this month the most memorable and unforgettable summer trips that my wonderful sons have experienced that they do remember. And so last week, of course, Donovan discussed his. And this week, we have my other wonderful son, my oldest, an act of Congress to get him here as well, Will Robinson. Welcome to the show, son.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Excellent. I'm glad to have you. So we'll get to talking here a little bit about what you recall as one of your most unforgettable or memorable summer trips. And go ahead and let the people know, what is that?
Well, recently, the most unforgettable or memorable summer trip that I have experienced was back when I went on my first cruise and
Hmm.
my first time out of the country. Yes, we
Okay.
went to the
Okay.
Bahamas
We sure
and
did.
yes, we went to the
Uh-huh.
Bahamas and we explored the old fort. If you don't know what that is, it's a historical place in the Bahamas
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
a lot of history took place and different wars happened occurred.
Yeah, and so that was in 2023,
Correct.
right? Yep, that was summer 2023. So that was the boys' first cruise. And like he said, being out of the country, as we do know that the Bahamas is an independent country that is not a part of the United States.
Nope.
However, we do associate it pretty often, people do. But yes, so we did visit the fort. We did a lot of different things
We
on that
did.
cruise. And we also went to Atlantis. Do you remember going to Atlantis where all of the shopping stores were
Yes,
there, and unfortunately the time that we went they were closed.
unfortunately.
So we did not get to see many of the stores that were open. They were really high end stores that I would love to be a part of. I know you know that. So we did go to a few other places while we were there. Do you recall what those places were?
Yes, in fact, I do recall we went to different places to eat food at,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Mm-hmm.
believe you guys had some type of
Yeah, we got these things called conch fritters,
yes,
and you
yes,
all would not try them,
nope.
but they were really good, really good. And they had this place where they were also making these virgin daiquiri drinks, and those were really delicious as well. So we
Yes.
did go there. And what else do you remember? I know we did some shopping with the local markets there and bought a few souvenirs for everybody. So that was a really good trip when we did go there.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, Awesome. So, is there anything else you remember from the trip, son?
Yes, I remember we also went to Coco Cay. It had
Oh,
yes, it had a lot of houses on the beach. We actually went out into the water and experienced it. It was very hot. It was very clear blue water as well. That's not something you see every day, especially if you live in the city. Yeah.
yeah, that is very true. So, it was hot. They did have a lot to do. You
Hmm.
guys were in the water while I was in the chairs, sitting down under a shade as it was hot. And they did have a lot of food out there too,
Yes.
so that was something interesting. But yeah, so that was definitely one that you remember from 2023.
Hmm.
And people, like you listened in last week, these young men have been on multiple summer trips. They remember the ones they remember. Of course, the ones when they were little, they really don't remember them very much. But thankfully, we have pictures to prove that we were there. So share with us another summer trip that you recall.
Another summer trip that I can recall is when we actually went to Tennessee. And
Oh,
yes, that was we saw a
yes.
lot of mountains for the first time. It was a
Yeah.
very different experience from where we're used to, here in Florida. But there was also this thing called Lookout Mountain,
Oh gosh.
and it was a trolley that actually
Oh
went
gosh.
up the mountain. It was slanted. It's a very scary experience if you don't like heights.
That would be me.
So, I don't recommend it to those who don't like heights, but it's not that bad. You are safe. You go up and down the mountain. It's a
Mm,
really nice view when you get up there. It's a
yeah.
really nice view.
Yeah, you had to bring up that Lookout Mountain train experience. And if anybody has not had the opportunity to look at this, it takes you all the way up
All
to
the
the
way.
very top of the mountain. And then you get out of this little train car and you are able to shop around in the different stores, get different souvenirs and things
Hmm.
like that. But there's only one way down.
Only one way down.
And it's the same way you came up, but you can't go as fast. It goes very slow from that very steep mountain. And yeah, I was praying the entire time, giving, in the hands of the Lord. Lord, take the wheel.
Take the wheel.
Take the wheel, please. And so, yeah, that was definitely one experience that, we had not experienced ever. And even myself, I've been to, well, let me rephrase. I've been to Stone Mountain. I've climbed Stone Mountain, which is in Georgia, but I had not gone to Lookout Mountain, one that's that high. And of course, riding that car rail up and down, that's definitely something different.
Now, Mom, I need to tell you about this place that I went to in North Carolina. It was a group trip with the high school, and I went and they stopped at this eatery, which is finally coming to Jacksonville, and it's called Cookout.
Oh, goodness.
Cookout is a great eatery. It has amazing milkshakes, best chicken, best fries. It's finally coming to Jacksonville very soon. I'm telling the people now, Cookout is one of those spots to be at and to eat from. You don't want to miss it when it comes out.
You know what? He told us he raved about this place. He went to North Carolina, like you said, on a college tour with some high school students. And this was what, 2021, 2022?
I think 2022.
Yeah, yeah. And when I tell you he raved about this place, and so we didn't know where it was other than North Carolina, but I ended up traveling to Georgia, and there is one in Georgia. And so I saw it on my way back home to Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm like, hey, I think this is a Cookout. Is this the same place that you were talking about in Carolina?
Yes, it was.
And so, yes, I did, as the great mom that I am, went ahead and got all of his favorite foods and also tried a few things for myself. And it was really delicious. I must say, the food is delicious. So he is excited about it coming here. And it's going to be on Beach Boulevard.
Yes.
Yeah, here in Jacksonville, Beach Boulevard. So, yeah. So look out for that at some point. I don't know if it's going to be this summer, but definitely here coming soon. All right. So as we get ready to close out this episode here, tell me what my young adult son plans to do this summer.
Well, besides being a full-time college student and a part-time worker, I am a fan of the Pokemon franchise.
Oh, no.
As of recently, or my whole life, actually. But recently, I've gotten back into it. And so, I don't know if you guys have seen, but recently, the cards have been going crazy among the people and fans. You might have seen fights across the different stores in, the United States of America. You might have seen Costco, Target, Walmart, all these people just fighting over these cards for whatever reason, and I'm a fan of it too, but I haven't encountered any of these activities, thankfully, from where I bought Pokemon cards from. But as a big fan of the series and franchise, I do believe it's just one of those things that you can get into now. While it is difficult to find products for your young ones, maybe they are a fan of Pokemon too. I would say don't give up. And please do not buy from any of these scalpers that are charging very high price. Because that's how they make their money. And if we eventually stop doing that, they will go away.
Yeah.
As they're coming from the sneaker business. Most of them are. Sneaker reselling business. And we all know how huge that is. And so they're coming into the Pokemon to try to take advantage of it. And so, yes, I'm a big fan of the Pokemon series and the cards. I love to buy.
Yeah, yeah. So give them a quick little story of how do you get these cards? How do you get the drops? What do you do? And even your mom, because I'm invested now, good people. Listen, I am invested. I might tell briefly the story that I did here recently. But yeah. One little snippet of how you get your sets or these elite trainer boxes and what kind of boxes? Booster boxes and these little things. Tell the people.
Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, you have to get there at least 4 hours earlier to whatever store you are trying to purchase from, because people will be lined up at the door waiting for it to open, ready to buy, ready to sell too. Ready to immediately sell.
Yep, they buy to immediately sell. And it's your investments right now, right?
Yes, absolutely. Now, that's a whole different topic. But Pokemon is also an investment, let me just say.
Yeah, so he has, like he said, been out there for hours along with some other people.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but let me just briefly say what I
Oh, go
did
ahead.
here recently. So, he wasn't able to get the one that he wanted online that recently dropped. Many people were out at the Best Buy at the town center, the GameStop at the town center at midnight, going into the next day when it's supposed to be released. There was a long line. One of his little friends sent the actual video, but he couldn't get it online. We weren't in those lines. And so mom recommended Target.
Save the day.
Save the day. Had to go to another county, people. Not to Duval County's Target, another county to get another one. I'm not going to say which county, but thankfully it was there because, as I said, I am invested too. So once he starts making this money, he's not going to forget mom.
Oh,
But definitely, I enjoy seeing him excited about something, along with all that he's doing otherwise with school and work. So
thank you.
I love you,
Love
son.
you too, Mom.
All right, so this is Melisia Talks, where we talk all things uniquely you, the sizzling summer topics edition. And so tune in next week with another episode with my oldest son. And he's probably going to go into a little bit more about his Pokemon craze and all that's going on with that, and maybe a few other things that he's excited about to share with the people. So tune in. And then our final week, we'll have my last son, as I mentioned before, with some upcoming information he's going to be ready to share. Tune in next time. Bye.